Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm Victoria Leone. Today we're going to be finally doing nails. It has been so long since I've done my nails. Actually, I did recently do a nail dip powder. I will link that video above, but that just went so wrong just for me personally. And so I had to take those off, unfortunately. So I was just thinking this morning that maybe I will put nails on again. Little disclaimer, I filmed this actually months ago. I wanted to put it up a lot sooner, but I just had so many other videos that I kept kind of pushing ahead of this one. So some things that I mentioned, like just putting out this nail dip powder video and stuff like that, been a couple months, so just FYI. I'm going to do nail tips to elongate my fingers. I love to elongate them. Mine are always really short. I cut them short. So we're going to glue on some tips to make them longer. Then we're going to put on gel fill. I have two different kinds that I really like, so I'll share both of those with you. Then the last step is going to be to put on the gel polish. Super excited to have clickety clackety nails again. I love the sound that they make when they click like on things. They also just make you feel super elegant, put together, boost your self-esteem, all the things. Just an FYI, I do have a lot going on today, so we're gonna start this video now, but I'm gonna finish it later on today. So if I look different, that is why. One more thing before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on Facebook too if you would like. Follow me on Like to Know It. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get started. I'm gonna go into all the details of all the products that I use, so bear with me. We will do the nails at the end. If you want to skip like 10 minutes into the video approximately, that's when we actually apply the nails. But before that, I'm going to talk about everything you need, and most of them I'd say like why you need them and such stuff like that. There is a lot of things that you're going to need, so if you get overwhelmed by this part or you can't remember, I will have it all linked and listed down below so you can have easy access to it. I want to be as thorough as possible and really show you guys everything that I use. There are some like super key important things that you need, and then some of them are extras. So one of the extras is an extension cord. I just use this really long white one. You want to just sit close to a wall plug-in. That works great too. I like to have a little bit more freedom and not be tugging on anything, so I like to use this really long one. A second thing that is an extra, not necessary, but it is so nice to have, and that is a lamp. This is just a simple desk lamp, but the light is super nice and bright. I put a daylight light bulb in here, so it's just the brightest one ever, so you can really see everything you're doing on your nail. The next thing that is not essential, but is so nice to have, that is a nail Dremel. It looks like this. It does have like a cord, of course, too, and it has different settings so you can go different speeds. Don't mind my blanket, it's cold in here. I get so cold when I edit. I wanted to say that we didn't actually really use this Dremel today, but it is something that is essential in my kit. Even though I say that it's not essential, I do use it almost every single time, but more so when I fill the nails is when I use it. Also, if the nail ends up being really bumpy after you do like the gel nail application, then that's super helpful to be able to file it down, because sometimes hand filing just takes so long, but we do end up only hand filing today. Most of them, depending on which kit you get on Amazon, of course, and I'll link my favorite one below. It comes usually with a little dealio like this where you have a bunch of different files. I usually just use this one where you can put a little file on top of it. You can use the other ones if you'd like to, but this is the one that I usually use. You can use just a regular hand file. I have those as well. I do use this too when I'm doing like detail filing, but for the main filing down, especially when you're doing a nail fill, a Dremel is so handy. It just helps things go by so much faster. If you use a Dremel, you will also need some files. It does come with a few of these to kind of start you off, but I bought a package with a whole bunch, and there is a specific texture that works the best. You want to use one that has a really fine texture on like natural nails, because you don't want it to be too rough. Your natural nails are really sensitive, so you want to just use a really fine one to file those down. But then when you're filing down like the gel, or if you do acrylic as well, that's another option, then a more rough file works really well. I'll try to link what they're actually called up here too when I'm talking about them, because they are called something specific. but I bought a pack of like a whole bunch of them, which is super handy. This is another thing that's not exactly necessary, but it's so handy. It's like a nail clipper. It has like this little crescent moon design so your nail can easily slip in there. And if you notice, it has like that little round bump right there, like a sun coming up in a sunset, if you will. That will stop it from going too far on your nail so you don't cut your natural nail or hurt your finger, but it just will like slice your nail. It's so nice. I love using this to cut the tips because it definitely makes it easier. You can also use scissors. And of course, tips. You can definitely do the gel or acrylic over your natural nails, but like I said, I like mine to be elongated. I can shape them better. I can do the coffin shape, make them more rounded. You can do like an almond or like stiletto if you wanted to. My personal favorite is just a square or a coffin shape. These are definitely super handy. This comes with like all the different sizes, so we glue those on. Speaking of gluing on the tips, you're also going to need some glue. This one's a super easy one. It's not super expensive on Amazon. This lasts a good long time. Another thing I really love is this like pH bond. This is something you would put on before you do the gel or the acrylic nail, as well as before you do the gel polish. This helps basically make sure that you're putting it on a clean surface, make sure there isn't any oils, there isn't any dust, and it helps it to kind of like stick to your nail a lot better. I don't personally do acrylic too much anymore. I still have so much powder, but my monomer bottle broke, so I ended up just using it until I finally just couldn't stand the smell anymore and switched over to gel nails, and I have found this to be just so much easier, you guys. It is ridiculous how much easier gel nails are versus acrylic. I honestly don't recommend acrylic. I just feel like it's such a harder process and it stinks so bad. It would always smell up the house, and yeah, it just wasn't the best. But this one I really like. This is actually one that I got for my mother-in-law. I do her nails for her now. She doesn't go to the salon anymore, so it's super fun. We get to spend time together, and I feel good being able to use like my skills and all my products, because otherwise there's no way I would go through all of these just on my own. So I love doing other people's nails, but this is one she specifically really wanted. It's definitely a looser formula, a little bit more liquidy. It forms so nice on the nail, I do have to say. It's just so nice. It kind of forms itself on the nail, so you don't really have to do very much shaping. But one downside is that because it's a little bit more on the liquidy side, you do have to cure it a little bit sooner than you would this other one that I'm going to show you, because it can kind of fall towards gravity, especially if you're doing your thumbs. You need to make sure that they're flat underneath the UV light and not curved, because if it's curved, you're going to end up getting a little bit of a bump because the gel is going to naturally gravitate towards the floor. The other gel that I like to use is this one from Gershon, I think. This is in the clear. This is kind of my staple one. I usually just use this one. I do wish that I could have like all the colors. I know they have a white, pink. I know they actually have colored ones too, which I think is so fun, so you wouldn't have to use gel polish. You could just fill it with this. With this one, you definitely need alcohol. 90% isopropyl alcohol would be the best option. You also need a little bowl, so use one that you don't care to ruin. This one's just small, and then of course you would need the brush as well. This one is a bit more of a sticky formula, so it will definitely stick to the brush if you don't have this. So this is a necessity with this one. This is not so much a necessity with this one, although this does really help to clean your brush at the end, so I still recommend using these. Something else that's really not necessary, but I honestly love it. I had been wanting one of these for so long, and I was so excited to finally get it, but that's an organizer. I have so many colors. My collection has grown over the past couple years. I've been doing my nails for almost 3 years, I think it is. Might be 2 years, but it feels like such a long time. It's been so much fun. Most of these on this side are all gels, and I have them numbered. And the numbers match up with this guy right here, where I have painted on all of the colors. This is helpful so you can see like what the color is gonna look like. You can get mood changing ones. I have some like cat eye style ones or like chrome ones. Then on this side, I actually have a lot of regular nail polishes. These ones you can get at the Dollar Tree. They're like the tall skinny ones. They have the really skinny wand, which is so perfect for detail on your toes, or even if you do a little tip on your finger, you can do a cute little swipe underneath it. I love using these, and then if you cure it under the UV light, it does help it dry faster. Then just do a gel top coat on top of it, and that seals in the color. It's not going anywhere. So that's super, super nice. I especially love that option for sparkles. Just makes it so easy, and then you can still use a lot of regular nail polishes. Then of course with the gel polish, definitely need a top coat and a base coat. I'll definitely link a bunch of my favorite gel polish kits. They're really not very expensive. You get a lot of colors in the packs and it's definitely worth it. You also of course need a UV light. And then the last thing before we go on to doing the nails is like a cuticle oil. It's really fun to put that on after you finish your nails because the filing can be kind of harsh around your skin and it makes everything kind of look shiny. If you don't have cuticle oil, you can just use olive oil or something like that. Okay, well that is pretty much everything. So let's move on to the adventure of doing our nails. Practice does make perfect, you guys. Trust me, the first time I did my nails, it took so long. Now I've gotten it down to where it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Definitely gonna take longer today since we're doing a tutorial, but hopefully you'll be able to get it down to where it doesn't take you very long either. Saves you some money. It's just gonna be fun. Let's switch over to the other camera and get started. I am so happy with how these turned out. I think they look so pretty. I haven't done my nails like this in months and months and months. So I'm just so ecstatic, honestly, to have these done. I hope that that tutorial was fairly simple. I wish I could do like a better setup to be able to show you visually, but when I'm doing it myself especially, like it's really challenging. I should just try to film me doing somebody else's nails sometime, but I do hope that this was helpful. Again, everything will be linked down below. There were a couple extra things that I used that I had forgotten to show you, and as you noticed, we didn't really use the Dremel a lot. I haven't put on a full set on myself in a long time because usually I just fill it in and just keep filling it in, so I don't usually have to put on like a full-on new one. So I didn't realize that you really don't use the Dremel that much the first time, especially if you can get the gel to be pretty smooth and not bumpy. That helps so much with limiting how much filing you have to do. We did use it at the end. I love using it to just get underneath the nails because sometimes you might have missed some glue or maybe a little bit of the gel got under there and hardened or something. So I love to use that to just kind of clean up underneath there. I will do my best to try and find these exact colors if you guys love this. It's such a pretty like rosy mauve, and then I love the sparkles. Sexy Mix has such beautiful polishes, and so does Gelin. Love both of those. So I'm so excited for you. I hope that this works so good for you too. Remember to be patient. Practice makes perfect. Find a comfortable chair. Try not to lean over too much so your back doesn't hurt. Be careful, especially when you're using the Dremel. Don't go too fast. You don't want to burn your finger. You'll get like a hot sensation. So just take it slow. Just have patience and it'll turn out so good. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Mwah.